Video 2, we're going to be showing you how to make a tincture. If you haven't seen video 1, my friend Summer Bach and I are talking about the benefits of tinctures, but also the history of tinctures, and we went through the different herbs that she's gonna be using. So in this video, we're just gonna be showing you how to do this. Now, if you have the patience to do this for 30 days, I think it's a very fun project. You know, and you can really mix and match your own herbs and pick and put the quantities that you want. It really allows for a lot of creativity and personalization. The other option is, in case you don't want to do tinctures and you don't have the 30 days to wait, I don't think it's one or the other. It could be both, right?
Could be both.
If you want to try it right away, then what I love to use, and that's what saved me in Italy, is the tincture that you make from Guts and Glory. Beautiful, beautiful formulation that comes with an awesome spray. And you spray that under. Would you spray it under your tongue or just?
I recommend just spraying it into your mouth, and you can spray it 3 times, 1 time, 10 times. It doesn't really matter. The point is to just get that flavor going. Mm-hmm. And I have them in my purse. I have them in my car, everywhere.
This is a great format for a purse as well, right? Like whenever you're going for dinner. Awesome. So let's get started. Show us how to do this.
So first off, let's make the strong, digestive fire stimulating tincture, okay? Yep. So a tincture is a way to extract the herbs from the actual herb material, so we can just have an easy to take liquid form that you can bring with you anywhere, and it's gonna last preserved for a really long time. Let's just start with the orange peel. So when we make a tincture, we do simply a 1:5 ratio, ounces to ounces. We'll make it really simple for you. So I have a scale here, and we're gonna weigh out, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of the herbal material, all right? So multiply that times 5, and that's how many ounces of the vodka that we're gonna use. We've got some sweet Polish vodka. Yeah, I can't wait.
That's a top shelf Polish vodka.
Heck yeah, this is gonna be fun. All right, let's measure out.
Do you need a spoon for this or no?
I was just gonna measure out, a half an ounce for each of these.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do a split.
Nice.
Got a little too much.
Damn, you're a perfectionist. I'll be like, just extra. I would love some extra orange, actually, because I love that orange. It adds that sweetness to it. Really balances out the bitterness.
So we'll put the orange in, and then let's put the dandelion root.
Yep. Also half an ounce?
Half an ounce.
Okay. So while you're doing this, can I ask you questions?
Please do.
So we're using vodka, right? What about if somebody's a former alcoholic or, just doesn't want to do alcohol or is doing a candida protocol at this point? What do you recommend then? What is the alternative?
Well, I will say this. It's a very small amount of alcohol. If you're sensitive and you don't want to take it for any reason, I totally understand. I actually make some lozenges as well that don't have any alcohol. And you could use glycerin or you could use apple cider vinegar as an alternative solvent. But they're just not as strong. Okay, so
you're saying that they would not extract the same amount of nutrients and the polysaccharides out of an herb as alcohol would?
They aren't going to extract the same alkaloids. They're not going to extract the same amount. They'll get some of them in there, but they're not going to get all of them. So, the one difference with apple cider vinegar and alcohol, though, is that the apple cider vinegar is going to absorb way more minerals from the plant material. Oh, so you're going to get more minerals through that kind of tincture.
Okay, but not alkaloids.
Not as many alkaloids. Okay. So the bitter flavor won't be as strong.
Okay, that makes sense. And now we're using gentian.
This is the gentian, and we're going to do half an ounce again. So we have 1.5 ounces total of the plant material.
I'm excited. I'm getting a new tincture. I just have to be patient and wait for 30 days.
You can
I have this.
You have that in the meantime.
I still have this, yeah.
All right. So then, what is 1.5 times 5? Because we have 1.5 ounces, and we're going to do 5 ounces, times 5 of the liquid. So
7?
7.5, right? I think it's 7.5. Doing math in my head.
Cameraman, do some calculation.
So we got. Well, you know what? I'm going to just kind of round up to 8.
Okay.
Because this is not a.
So wait, what about our fennel?
We're going to put that in a different one.
Oh, I see. Okay. We're making a couple of different tinctures today.
We're going to do 2 different tinctures.
I forgot about that. Okay, great.
So I just rounded this up to 8 ounces. Yes. Yeah. I love it.
Okay, so next follow-up question. Do you keep this in the sun? Do you keep it in a dark place? Like, what's
don't spill it all over you, that's for sure.
What's the best recommendation?
My recommendation is to keep it actually in a pantry.
In a pantry?
Yeah, I think you should keep it in a dark place.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. And you know, you want to kind of treat this like your little pet that you're taking care of over the next month. Go in there and shake it up. You know, look at it, get to know what's happening here. Watch the colors change as the alcohol starts extracting the plant material. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. So this is the final one that's going to sit there for a month until it's done.
Perfect. Shall we make them, what do you want to do? Strain next, so you want to make the next
Let's
one?
make the other one. It's just a similar process, but I do want to say one more thing. You mentioned the glycerin and you mentioned apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Alcohol lasts the longest too. So in terms of preserving things, if you're going to use apple cider vinegar, you want to make sure it's with something that you're taking every day, like a tonic, right? It's an everyday herb so that you're getting to use through it. Right. You don't want it to be sitting there 3 years later. It's not going to taste good. It's not going to be the same product.
Yeah.
All right. So we have these little guys done. Let's scoot them out of the way. Now let's do our peppermint fennel. Peppermint fennel, the nice thing about this tincture is that it's just going to taste good. It's going to be very gentle. This is something that's more geared towards children. This is something that you can also take before bedtime or in between meals, because the strong digestive bitter, it's great right before a meal, but in between meals, say you want to kind of like soothe your belly a little bit, or you're just kind of like, all right, I like this. This is fun. You know, if you do that with the strong bitters, it'll make your stomach start growling. All those digestive juices are flowing, and now you're hungry in between meals, and yeah, we don't really want that. All right, so let's see. I think we're going to do this one. We'll do this about the same. We'll just take we'll do 0.75 ounces of the fennel seeds, and we'll do 0.75 ounces of the peppermint, and then we'll add I'll add 8 ounces of the alcohol, and then we'll mix it together and let it sit.
So it's basically 1 to 5 is the ratio.
1 to 5 ratio.
1 to 5. So if it's 1 ounce of herbs, then you're doing 5 ounces of alcohol with that.
And I like to measure things. Yeah, that's exactly right. I like to measure things because, you know, some people do what's called the herbal folk method, where you can actually just put the herbs in and then just cover them with the alcohol. And that is one method.
Yeah.
I just am really into being able to replicate flavors.
Right. Okay.
You know, I want it to taste the same every time. I want to know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So I always measure, even when I'm experimenting, I mereasure so I can see how to, like, what if I came across like the best tasting thing ever?
Right.
I've learned the hard way.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way. Some flavors have been made and they will never be made again because we don't know what was in them. I'm going to have to do a couple of these. Peppermint is a little bit lightweight. So it takes just a little bit more here.
So like when would you use this one versus, like you said, like in between meals? It's not going to be as strong of a digestive as the other one.
It's just more gentle. And so it's like the people that may have gastritis or an ulcer. Right. This is going to be the one that you want to take. Perfect. For somebody who may just even be overstimulated by that, like that strong bitter flavor. Yeah. Just some people's constitutions, it's not as good for them. Yeah. So I always have 2 different kinds of bitters on hand for that.
Nice.
All right, let's go with our 8 ounces again. And if you have fresh peppermint, you can also use fresh peppermint. It's really good. Alcohol is funny. It doesn't pour like water. The viscosity is different, so it's very easy to spill it everywhere. Just got to pour it slower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
And again, this is going to be, 30 days do you recommend?
30 days for both of them.
Perfect.
Date them. You will forget.
I mean, that's exactly what you did today, right?
Yep.
Is like bitters and a date on it. I'll probably want to, we were just doing that for the video, but we also want to put like what it went into making these bitters, because that's what's going to help you really remember. So this is a bitter that's been in my cabinet for the past month.
That's right.
And, didn't market very well. Should have, but that's what else. But I followed your recipe anyway, so that's really what it is. So what do we do with that? 1 month later, color changes, you can see. This is just freshly made, and this one is a month later, so significantly darker. A lot of the nutrients came in here. What do we do with that?
So we're going to strain this off. This is, it's been sitting in here for a while, so look how dark it is. It's changed the color, pulled all the alkaloids out. We're going to use this handy dandy strainer.
Yes.
I mean, how cool is a strainer and funnel in one?
Right.
So that's exciting. You can also use muslin cloth.
Yeah.
You can use cheesecloth. You can get like a sieve and put that in there with a piece of cloth lining it. If you want, you really can use like a hand towel or a napkin, but
right.
I'm going to, really prefer something like muslin cloth just because of the ability to strain out any additional plant material.
Yeah.
So this is pretty simple. We're just going to try not to make a giant mess, which I'm prone to. All right. And so remember, it's alcohol. It doesn't pour like water.
But I want to do faster. There we go.
It will. Yeah. Sometimes it depends on the container you're using.
Yeah.
It's like faster or slower.
Oh, sorry. Perfect.
So there's all of the excess plant material.
Yep.
These are all roots, so squeezing it out isn't going to make a massive difference. When you get to squeezing out the one with peppermint, though, you really probably do want to get a little piece of cloth or something so you can squeeze it out.
Yeah.
So now let's pour it into the tincture bottle.
Yeah. So does it have to be dark? Does it have to be amber?
I prefer it.
Longer lasting?
I think it lasts longer.
Yeah.
It's going to prevent oxidation, so the sun isn't going to destroy or break down any of the components that are in this tincture.
Nice.
This is the cutest. I love, like Herbalists, we're obsessed with little funnels and little jars. It's the best. This is the cutest funnel ever, Magdalena.
I am so happy I had one at home that pleases you.
It does. Little tiny funnels, they really do it for me. Okay, so you're going to fill, like a lot of people think they're supposed to fill it all the way to the top. My big recommendation is that you fill it to the shoulder. The shoulder is right where the edge starts to curve. And the importance of that is it keeps it from spilling over when you put the lid in.
Yeah. So you're using a spray,
Yep.
right? Nozzle. I personally actually prefer a droplet.
You do?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just goes like under my tongue or into my mouth, and I feel like I'm getting a bigger dose. And so this is really, it's just pick up whatever you want. You can get these things obviously on Amazon. You can pick it up in your local herbal shops. Many of them do carry that. That's what people do, right? DIY everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, that's how I started. And I will say the reason I prefer the spray bottle is because when I'm at a restaurant and I'm wanting to take my bitters, I like kind of being discreet. I'm just like, and then
I have to show off.
You do. This is the difference, isn't it? You're like, everybody asks me what I'm taking.
Yeah, no, but they do.
Ah.
And people go like, "Oh, why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Well, let me." And then
That's awesome. And then you pass it around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know what? Really, like, just on a final note of the benefits that we didn't talk about that earlier, and I just remembered, is that the amazing thing about that is that when your juices are stimulated, there's so much more material to break down the food with, right?
Right.
And you're extracting a lot more nutrients from the food that you're eating. So when you're going for a really nice dinner, even if it's a little bit heavier, right? It really helps you with digestion so much better. You're extracting so many more nutrients. And needless to say, full hormonal balance is just so important, right? I mean, all your hormones, all your glands need nutrients to produce these hormones. And obviously, we all need to function. We rely so much on supplements, right? Where to get the most out of the food you're eating, this is one way to really amplify that process.
Well, I take that one step further, which I find fascinating, is that in order to balance your hormones, many of your hormones have to go through, be detoxified through the liver, conjugated in some way, and then you actually poop them out. So taking a bitters before a meal is actually going to help with that because you are preventing things from recirculating, and one of the reasons that estrogen recirculates in the body, am I getting too nerdy? Is this okay? Can we go here?
No, I mean, that's what I talk about to my audience all the time. So this is good. Yeah.
One of the reasons that estrogen recirculates in the body is it recirculates through the liver because of something called beta-glucuronidase, which is produced by certain bacteria in the microbiome. So you have all these bacteria living in there and they're impeding your ability to break down estrogen all the way.
Right.
But if you're helping to move things through and balance the microbiome through using bitters daily, you're actually going to be pooping out your estrogen more easily and preventing estrogen dominance and balancing out your hormones in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's beautiful.
And so take this step even further.
Yeah, girl, let's do it.
This is a really great way of preventing and getting bowel movement going, right?
Yes.
So again, you not only use the more digestible the food is, or the more digested the food is, right? The easier it is for the bowels to move. And so bitters are just a fantastic way. And anyone who is, I always say that a constipated person does not experience good hormonal balance, period. It's just impossible, right? Not only is it toxic, everything re-enters, but like you said, estrogen but also testosterone, everything re-enters the body one more time. So just a really, I mean, there's so many incredible benefits. So again, either try this or, you know, do this for a month. You just give yourself a month to create that tincture, which is, I think, such a fun project to do. In the meantime, if you want to get something right away, here's my recommendation. This is what's in my purse, Guts and Glory from Summer Bach. A wonderful bitter that saved me many times before and after dinner. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here in my beautiful house. And we were here for, well, you were here for an event, and we just decided to get together and make this video on a Monday morning.
It's my pleasure. This was so fun to do. I love hanging out with people and playing herbs.
All right, you guys.